Hello everyone and welcome to our second round of Division 2 in Zoom Racing League. We are in Hungary and we are ready to go racing at the track that they call Monaco without walls. Very twisty track here. We got a lovely shot of turn 4. We don't know if it's going to be dry yet, but our intro sure says it is. So here we go. Here's our track. We got 2 DRS zones down the main straight and the one following, and we have 14 turns like I said before and 4.381 kilometers of action. Here, we got some elevation changes, but that's only mainly up from turn 3 to turn 5. And that is it. We got a little tricky chicane, but overall, not too many overtaking opportunities here tonight. I'm joined in the booth with Magnus and Cube. And before we get into our commentary, I'm going to get into the standings here, because we finally do have standings after our first round. And let's just see if the standings will pop up. I did put them here. I will... Oh, let me just move it to the front real quick. And then we will be getting those here soon. Here we go. Sorry about that, ladies and gents. But we have Nadewell at the top of the standings with Peter Giordano in second. Then it's Joel Guran in third, followed by T-Nail in fourth. Giorgio did a good performance in the RB and is P5 right now. Alpine and Spinini P4 right now. Man in the Box seventh, and then the two Mercedes, Chonkin combined, eighth and ninth. And then we have Rigraf, Kaganis, Slick Goku, Sudsy Marmot, J Street, Rage, Logan, Florida, and then we have 3 do not starts. I don't know if we have them here tonight, but they are Palm Tree, Roldy, and Kiwi. And it does look like we have Hokage Roldy, so let me take these off of the screen real quick, and let's get into our commentary. So, Magnus and Cube, how are you doing?
Oh, fine and dandy. Welcome to qualifying for the Hungarian Grand Prix, a track that has been very much criticized for producing boring races and being very tough to overtake. In its first few years of life, it was definitely very tough to overtake with no main straights, but a redesign in 2003 has alleviated a lot of the concerns. Even with that included, there's still one overtaking opportunity on the lap, as Joe Guron is coming up to it right now. Turn 1, the heaviest braking zone and the only massive braking zone on the lap, I'd say. And turn 2 is a good place to battle with another car, but it's not normally seen as a great overtaking opportunity. And then past the kink of 3, and then up the hill about 150 miles an hour to turn number 4. Very easy to exceed track limits on that red and white curb. Through turn 5, massive understeer, bit of a snap from Joel on the exit, and through the chicane of 6 and 7. Riding as much curb as you can get away with before flicking it left for 8 and then swinging it back to the right for 9. This is all the 4th or 5th gear section. Again, easy to bin it on the exit at 9. Through turn 11, one of the fastest corners. Again, very easy to bin it. You'll be exiting that in 6th gear. And then through turn 12, down to 4th, about 80 miles an hour, and then accelerating back up the gears for a very tight hairpin. Turn 13, beware of a bump on the entry, and it's very long. And then the final corner is a little bit faster, but it's still painful to accelerate. And that's a lap of the Hungaroring, and this first lap will be a 1:14.7 for Joel. Let's see where the others come up now. His team at Red Panda, 1:16.5. 1:16.5, apologies about that.
Yeah, and then we have the Alpine of Spinini going second fastest with a 1:15.2. It is very sunny in qualifying here, contrasting to Division 1 where it was intermediate conditions until it became dry conditions. But yeah, there's been talk about a threat of rain, but I have got my pocket professional Abib to tell me that there is going to be no rain in qualifying or the race, so we will have just pure uninterrupted sessions here. I expect times to probably go into the low 14s here in Division 1. We haven't seen anything from Peter Giordano in the Ferrari yet. He's just starting his lap, but I expect him to maybe be the only one to pop into the 13s tonight. There's a couple things we need to go over with the constructors because, you know, main runners that we thought would be tipped at, right at the top were Mercedes, and they went 8th and 9th last race. So what do you think about that here?
A bit of a disappointing performance for the Mercedes. Combined first in the draft, and he had first in the draft, a bit of a terrible one, but This is a stronger track for him. I've raced him a lot, and he has gone very poorly around Montreal. It's not been one of his stronger circuits, and here on a track with less high-speed direction changes and a bit more of an understeery balance, he will be alright. So maybe we'll see the Mercedes back up toward the front of the field again, but I don't expect it to be the 1-2s or the wins from pole that some might be expecting from combined. He's just not fast enough for that. As Peter Giordano, once again, tops the timings with a 1:14.5. Let's say about the combined YouTuber. Expectations are a little bit high for the Australian. Started very poorly down, finished in the top 10 at least last week in Montreal. Can he go a little better here in Budapest this week?
I think he may well be able to. And another thing to talk about is Peter Giordano. I mean, he was probably comfortably the fastest driver in last week's race and qualifying, of course, but he did have so many penalties. So I think this week, if we can see him not get too many penalties, where it's still possible to get penalties here, don't get me wrong, turn 4 is a bit tricky if you're coming in too hot, and there are some other points too. But I think we might have a very good chance of seeing a Peter Giordano win here tonight. His teammate Logan, honestly, he's not too bad on one lap, but he does have some stuff going on in his racecraft and his race pace overall that I think we could see kind of hurt Ferrari tonight, but I am happy to be proven wrong here.
Yeah, Logan last week had a bit of a shocker, as they say. Lots of spins, but his one-lap pace has never been the problem. It's just been his race pace and his racecraft that have gathered a lot of criticism, and deservedly so. I mean, he's been in D2 or D3 for ages, and from what I've seen, he has not really cleaned up on a lot of things. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a tough season for Logan if he can't get his shit together.
Well said to the last word. And let's keep looking on what we got here. Chonk is the only man not to have set a lap here, and his Mercedes teammate is only 8th, so still kind of lacking from where we expected him to be based off our pace test, and Chonk has just actually invalidated his lap. Another thing I just noticed, we have no Red Bulls in the session, so that is going to be another big blow for people who are arguably supposed to be contending at the top of the Constructors' Championship. They have had a horrible start to their season. They don't even have a reserve here, so that is going to be a big loss for them here, and you know, that'll let teams like RB, even Haas, to kind of move up the ranks and take advantage of that absence in the early stages here. Next week we have Belgium, and if they don't turn up, Red Bull, with any drivers there, they are going to be in some deep mud in the whole standings.
They're going to be under... They're already in a lot of trouble, and that trouble could possibly get even worse as Chonk continues his lap, blowing the battery on that main straight. One thing, because of the short length of the track, you have more fuel for 2 runs in qualifying. If you invalidate, you can recharge your battery in the middle sector and go again. It's not the end of the world, unlike at next week's track, funnily enough, the Belgian Grand Prix. That's the longest lap of the season, and yeah, it's going to be pressure on, especially in the last rounds of qualifying. Very easy to invalidate, and if you invalidate, there's no time to gather yourself back up again. You have to be perfect on your 2 laps. You have to get your shit together, as they say.
Exactly, and this track, I mean, with the new game, it's honestly, I found it a bit trickier to manage. You know, it used to be one of my favorite tracks on the last game just because the cars handled so nicely through here, but with kind of the flicky nature of these cars, it really kind of hurts your tires. Not as much as we saw in previous games. I know, you know, it used to be tire hell out here the last couple of games, but now with the hard tires and how little they degrade, it's really not that big of an issue. But, you know, these soft tires are not going to be seen in the race at all unless we have like a 2-lap shootout, I'd say. And the mediums, they still degrade like they did in Canada. So what do you think the tire strategies will be here during the race?
I think it's a medium to hard, to be honest. In Division 1 at least, the medium to hard was the fastest. I pitted at the end of lap 11, was down in the bottom half of the top 10, and when I rejoined, I was basically straight up after Potato Skin and a couple of others. So It's a very powerful undercut if you have the pace. I'd say it's the tune of 2 seconds a lap, 3 seconds a lap even. If you do a hard medium, you will lose badly. You just have too much tire wear to make up for your 12, 13 laps of the last stint, but you just don't have the ability to gather up 25, 30 seconds at 13 laps, especially with how badly the medium degrades and wears out. Lap 10 in D1, I was at 45% tire wear on the front left tire. It's just impossible to pull off any type of decent strategy. It's just not a medium to hard because tire wear is so high and tire deck is so high as well. It's the same in real life. We saw it. Teams are pitting lap 5 just to get the undercut, just to get the track position. And because of how difficult it is to overtake here in Hungary, I think some might be going for that try and get track position and then inshallah strat. That's it. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, I can completely agree with that. Having run the hard to medium last night, I just noticed, like, I did not have the pace to get past the medium runners at the start of the race, so that just meant I had to be behind them all the time, and then when I went on the mediums, yeah, for the first 5 laps, I was taking, like, 1.5 seconds out of people, but then the degradation hit. They were just faster than me in every single corner I noticed. Ooh, as we see a big moment for Nadewell through the second sector, getting all over that curb. And yeah, it's just really tricky if you're not running a medium to hard in all of these races here. And I think we'll be able to say the same for pretty much every race of this season except for a few. I think Silverstone is really good with the soft tires, so I think that might be one of the only exceptions we see all season long. As Nadewell comes back into the pits after having a big moment in the second sector. Peter Giordano on his second lap of the session, 1/10 up.
1/10 up indeed, but regarding the tower, next week's Belgian Grand Prix, very low tower around Spa. It's a soft to medium. One of the, I think, 3 tracks in the game where you can actually pull it off. Silverstone and Portimao are the only exceptions to the rule, and I think with the way the tires work on this game, we're back to an F122 where the softs last next to nothing and degrade, and the hards are pieces of concrete. As Peter Giordano 4 up on his personal best so far. Can the Ferrari driver put it on pole position once again, and this time not get a quarter of a minute's worth of penalties? Let's see. Up to the line, the final corner weight, a 1:14.1, 6 tenths faster than Joe Guron around this short lap. That's incredible.
Yes, a very good lap for the Ferrari driver. However, Joel has not set a second lap yet, so the Mercedes driver might be able to clap back at him. Peter Giordano's teammate, Logan PSQ, I mean, he's not too far behind everyone in front of him. If he gains only 2/10, that puts him P3. Honestly, with his racecraft, his race pace, I'm not sure how much that will bring him into contention during the race, but still, oh, wow, he's 1.3 seconds down. He's practicing his race laps right now even, so good for him. We see a Aston Martin coming around the final corner, actually coming into the pits. J Street is our only man on a hot lap so far, other than Satsi Marmot right behind him. So, for Kick, Sauber, Stake, F1 team, whatever you want to call it, one driver, but J Street, he's not that bad of a driver, honestly. In the standings, I think he's kind of up there, unless I'm completely wrong. But he's not too bad of a driver. He's got good racecraft, good race pace. I think we could see some good stuff from him tonight.
Yeah, I think so as well. But again, it's so difficult to overtake, and if he doesn't do qualifying, great. I think he's kind of just done, because you can't pass around here outside of T1. It's going to be lap 1 chaos, and then you spend the next 20 laps waiting for a move, and then that's it. It's track position is going to be king in this race, or you just wait for that undercut, because there's no other way you'll get past a similar pace.
I think that is very right. I wonder if Logan was going on a... Well, no, he wasn't going on a double warm lap because he's off the battery now, so I think he's just messing around with his tires now, completely burning them up. He'll be able to get back in time, but let's hope that he doesn't block his teammate like he did last time out in qualifying. That was the thing that didn't allow Peter to get another lap in. At this point in time, it looks like he's going to be coming into the pits at exactly the time Peter will be wanting to run out, but hopefully I'm proven wrong once again by Ferrari. Finally invalidates a lap after the whole thing being pretty scruffy, honestly. Someone else on the lap right now. Let's take a look around. Fun Chicken Ninja. I don't know if he has a real name outside of this one. I don't know if he's on the standings as anything else, but he is here. And I have a feeling this is our missing driver for Alpine last time out. But let's see what we can get from him.
Exiting turn 3 into 4, we'll get an idea of his first sector. 800's up as he goes to turn 4, carrying a little bit less speed than normal. And then up the hill through 5, lots of exit curb. And you can tell he's a little bit cautious and he hasn't used any overtake. Oh, he's off. And he spotted onto the grass.
Yeah, just too much curb for the Alpine driver. That curb will really get you, honestly, and it'll just loop you around as we saw, and then it just spun it around on the grass because that was where he was in the end. So 800's up from a 116.4. That wasn't realistically going to put him anywhere. You'll see most of the improvement on qualifying laps through the middle sector just because there's so many turns there. But yeah, I mean, you're not going to improve if you're sideways in the grass. Let's take a look at my old friend, old commentator buddy, Red Panda Pigeon Slayer, also known as Luke. Let's see what he can do through the second sector. Let's see how much time he can gain. It looks like he's actually on the battery again, so I'm not really sure what the strategy is with the battery during these qualifying laps. He's not really using too much. 3/10 up though.
3/10 up, so I think he may have made a mistake on his banker. But let's see, through the final 2 corners of the lap, what I've seen is many drivers running a little bit deep on the exit of turn 13 is just because of these new physics that keep changing, and trail braking is so difficult on this new game. Up to the line for Red Panda, a 1:15.5. He's going to stay 13th.
As Joel continues his lap, but yeah, I think we should talk about how difficult turn 13 is too. I mean, with the physics and just how hard it is to trail brake, I think we could see some unfortunate incidents, one would put it, going into that turn, just because, like, even if you overshoot the braking pressure by a tiny bit, you're locking up, you're going deep, and I feel like you said, we could see a lot of incidents there. Do we have a Ferrari around? Yes, we do. Logan PSQ is around. We're out for our final laps of qualifying, and Peter Giordano is just about to start his. What's happened?
I combined to spun it into the grass at turn 7.
He's trying to reverse it into a wall.
Yeah, I think he's just not happy with the lap and he's completely binned it. He was 2 turns down in sector 1, so another long gold race for the Mercedes driver. Yeah,
and it may only get longer as he gets demoted another position. Peter Giordano through the first sector now. He's going to be ready to start this race on the front foot. And if he can get a good improvement here, I think he's going to put himself even well clear. I mean, I said a good improvement. That's about as bad as an improvement can get, honestly. As Joel finishes his lap, and he is going to put up no contest whatsoever. He did not change his time from his first lap. So Chonk is going to overtake him for P2. Let's see if anyone else can contest. Nadewell coming through the final few bends, and he's up 3/10 through the second sector. So what can Nadewell in the Williams do here?
He's up by 3/10, but it won't be Paul. I think Peter Giordano has pole position covered. Nadewell up to 3rd on the grid. Peter Giordano a 10th up in the middle sector. He's got one more corner for, I think, one of the most dominant pole laps I've seen. One of the biggest margins. He's run out of battery, and that still doesn't deter him from putting it on pole by over half a second.
Yes, as Benini jumps up from quite far down the order to P2. Peter's teammate Logan is going through with his final lap. Let's hope he got the qualifying formula finally right. And what will it be as he crosses the line is only going to be good enough for P8. The 2 Haas's jump him. Great performance from Satya Marmot as he crosses the line for 6th position. But here is the rest of your order. It goes, I'll read it from the top. Peter Giordano from Spinini, then Chonk, Nadewell, Zux, Joel. And the 2 Haas's, Satya Marmot and Man in the Box, good from them. And then Logan in P8, Slick Goku P9, a J Street P10, and then 2 Aston Martins right in front of combined YouTuber Mercedes. Like we said, it's going to be a long race from him, and Luke right behind him, going to be longer for him. Florida in the Williams P15, and Fun Chicken Ninja P16. So, I honestly have to say the order is about as we expected. With these qualifying gaps, I don't know what we're going to see in terms of race pace, but let's hope that Spanini can put up a little bit of a fight to the Ferrari, eh?
Yeah, I think if Peter gets the same amount of penalties, he'll definitely put up a fight, Spanini, but your qualifying order for the Hungarian Grand Prix goes like this. Peter Giordano on pole by over 3/10 of a second from Spanini, who is about a 1/10.5 quicker than Chunk. Nadal right behind him. Joel Guron did not improve his last round and qualifies 5th. Both Haas's 6th and 7th. Great performance from them. Logan PSQ only 3 thousandths off. Slick Goku, J Street, Rigraf, Hokage Roldy, combined YouTuber, Red Panda Pigeon Slayer / Kakinus / Luke, Florida, and Fun Chicken Ninja are the last drivers on the grid for this 35-lap Hungarian Grand Prix. Nathan Doan, a huge margin from pole to 2nd place. Do you think the race will be as straightforward for Peter Giordano?
I think if he can get it off the line, then yes. But if he even drops down 1 position during the race, I think he could be in a little bit of trouble just with how hard it is to overtake. We do get DRS after 1 lap, thankfully now, but I don't know if that's going to help him too much if Spanini just manages his battery. He's a smart driver. I think he's won 1 race, or at least 1 race, but I don't know if he's got the pace to go up against Peter Giordano. I'm going to be looking more towards the midfield because that's where we saw all the spice happen last night. So we'll see how the tire strategies come into play. If any of the top 5 go on to the hards, I think that could really give us some excitement. But top 3 predictions, what do we got, Magnuson?
Peter Giordano, Nadewell, and Joel Guron.
I feel like you knew that answer before I even asked the question. But, ladies and gents, as we always do, crack open a cold one, and here we go with the lights. 3, 4 lights, and now 5, and they are going to go out right now as we go down to turn 1. Was it a good start off the line for Peter Giordano? No, it wasn't. He's got the Alpine side by side with him as we go down into turn 1. Will it be a dive bomb from Spanini? As we go into turn 1, it will be on the inside. The Alpine gets a little bit of a touch from the Williams, but Peter Giordano keeps his lead. Meanwhile, we have Chong trying to challenge Nadewell into turn 2. Will it be a good battle for him? He's still on the inside line, but it will go for the inside line for the Williams if he keeps it in. Nadewell still on the inside. They make a little bit of contact, but the Mercedes gets ahead. Meanwhile, still battling down into turn 4. We have Logan and Slick Goku side by side until they weren't. Logan comes out on top of that position. We got a few people running wide in turn 4. Even Joel is going wide in turn 5. We got some action going on here, and what will we have as we continue the lap? It's single file racing for now.
Single file, but it's a good start from Peter Giordano. He's in the lead, and that's what he needed to do. And we have yellows down at turn 7.
Cars.
2 yellows. 2 cars have spun around. Florida using a cheeky reset to track and Red Panda Pigeon Slayer, but they're all okay for now. Peter Giordano in the lead, and that's what he needed to do. Chunk in the Mercedes, a great start from him, keeping position on that hard tire. The race could come back to him, but it'll just fall away from him when the medium runners pit because it's a very short opening stint. That is what has happened in Division 1. People were pitting at the end of lap 10 for a bit of a marathon on the hard, for a bit of a marathon stint on the hard tire, and that's just, and because the hard tire is so fast and so consistent, they're able to just keep doing laps for fun, basically.
As we got a couple of battles going on with the Haas of Satya Marmot and Logan PSQ. Logan got the better of him there, but can Satya Marmot make these medium tires work against the hard tires? Logan, one of only 3 drivers to run the hard tires so far. Other than that, it's Chonk in P3. I said if we had anyone in the top 5 with the hard tires, we would have some spicy drama, and it looks like we have exactly that. He's already breaking the DRS gap, which is probably frustrating Nadewell and Joel Guron as much as they could possibly be right now. Other than that, J Street, who we talked about a little bit in qualifying, is the only other one on hard tires. So we're going to continue on. 1/10 the gap from Peter Giordano to Spanini. If Spanini just stays within this gap as he goes a bit wide in turn 12, I believe that is, and now out of DRS, he is going to have a rough time with just trying to keep up with Peter Giordano. I think Peter could really start pulling a gap here.
Yeah, it's going to be a long race with Spanini because he knows that one DRS zone is really his savior. It's only one real usable DRS zone on this circuit. The second one is not long enough as Nate down the inside of Chunk into the first corner. Chunk is going to have a go on the outside. No, he's not. He holds, and Nate is now up into third as we start lap 3 here in the Hungaroring. Couple of changes. Chunk and watch out for Joel Guron here. Might have a chance, but it's unlikely. But anyway, Joel Guron runs wide through turn 4, up through 5. And here's where the single file happens. No change to the order from the end of the first lap, aside from Nadewell getting past Chunk. And already we can see someone like Logan just taking a mountain of exit curb to turn 7. That is so much curb, and it can just destabilize you, can make you spin off. But this, I think, has been the start Peter Giordano needs, and this has not been what Spanini needs because Nate is already on the back of him.
Yes, and I don't know what it was, but sometime last game, we just started to have really consistent DRS trains for a good part of the race, and we can already kind of see that happening. The only exceptions are kind of our top 3, and then the hard runners. They're really the ones who are building these big gaps outside of the DRS range. Logan doesn't have DRS, J Street doesn't have DRS, and Chonk is just barely having DRS. No, he doesn't have DRS as he gets challenged by Joel Guron down the inside. What will the exit be like for the McLaren driver? He'll have the outside line going down into the hill, and it looks like Chonk is going to try and fight this one out. Does he leave the cars with? Yes, he does, but Joel still has a space and still has the inside line and still now has a position P4 for Joel Guron in the McLaren.
Yeah, those hard tires are just not fast enough already. And the loss of track position will be concerning Chonk because I think after about lap 15, only God can help him out here. There's not even a safety car, because it did come out in D1, and the chance of it is pretty low around here with fairly generous runoff areas, and mistakes not being punished as heavily as they were last week in Montreal, so the chance of a shock safety car is not particularly high.
Yeah, I feel like the only real big chance that we'd have is kind of during this Sector 2 and that big, nearly flat-out right-hand sweeper. I feel like it could really catch out some of these drivers if they just take a bit too much curb on either end and just go straight into the wall. I think that those might be the only chances of safety car action we get. I mean, I've seen some people just kind of spin it in turn 1 and somehow find themselves in the wall on the right side as Chonk is going to challenge the McLaren back. He might go for a switchback. No, he's going to hold it around the outside. It might be a decent move for the Mercedes driver if he hadn't gone so wide. Now he's got man in the box to deal with here. Man in the box thinking down the inside but not going for it. We have another yellow flag. That's Florida in the final corner of the lap. No damage for the Williams, but he's going to keep going. Let's take a look back on where we are with the DRS trains kind of being broken up. We can see on the map just the gap starting to build a tiny bit more. Logan still under pressure from the other Haas, and man in the box putting pressure on Chonk ahead. These two hard drivers have got 2 MoneyGram Haas F1 cars right behind them.
Yeah, the trains are starting to be broken up a little bit, but Chonk and the Mercedes losing 2 places in the opening 5 laps of this Grand Prix, and that should concern him because the hard tires are going to come into it now, but he's going to be in the same position I was with Cam Bourne as Joel Guron runs off to Germany on corner exit. An interesting way to get the pass done as we see a little bit of action down here in the midfield.
Wow, his man in the box is going to send it down the inside of the final corner. Not a usual overtaking opportunity, but he's still kind of side by side with Joel Guron. Can he get the move done on the straight? That would be a huge move as we have another yellow flag in the back. He might even send it down into turn 1 on Chonk, but he doesn't. Logan is trying to follow through the Haas with Joel Guron here. Does Joel Guron keep just the one position away? Yes, he does, but now he's got another hard runner right behind him. First he had Chonk behind him. He thought, okay, that's fine, I got a manageable hard runner behind me. But now he's got Logan. You don't know what can happen with Logan, so let's see what happens within the next few laps here.
The chances of Logan possibly overshooting a braking on a spinning out are, I'd say, rather high for him, but I hope not. As he head into the chicane. Man in the box, great racecraft, taking positions already And he isn't someone who you'd expect to be fighting for a top 5 or a top 4. So great run from him in these early laps, but can he hold on to the advantage as the mediums degrade? As we have J Street off of the grass at turn 9. He's recovered all fine and dandy.
Yeah, I mean, the more and more the race goes on as we get our first time penalty right in front of him. Luke gets the time penalty, 3 seconds for track limits. But as the race goes on, I think our words in qualifying are just slowly becoming a little bit less credible as J Street goes on the hard tires and has a little bit of a tricky thing going on. But like you said, I don't know whether it was just because maybe he had a broken front wing, but the undercut is already happening at, I think, lap 7. So Fun Chicken Ninja might know something we don't. He is about 40 seconds behind everyone else, but I guess the undercut could happen if he's super lucky. He might undercut the Lone Williams of Florida, but that might just be it. As J Street now battling with Luke in the first sector. We still got a big snail of DRS cars, as Spanini has actually gone into the DRS of Peter. That's kind of going away now. I wonder if there was a moment for the Ferrari driver, but we could still see Spanini. He's pushing on. You can see him using the battery just a tiny bit to will him on to the back of the Ferrari. Can he get the DRS, and could that change the outcome of our race tonight?
It could, but it's not going to do much as Logan gets past Joel Guron at turn 12 of all places, one of the weirdest spots. He's going to hold it on the outside of 13. Fair play, Logan. And they're going to go side by side into the final corner. That's not an overtaking opportunity. And Logan just running all over the curb. And it's going to give him terrible drive on that main straight. And Joel's already passed him.
I thought for 1 second maybe the Haas would go after him, as we have Florida around again in Sector 2. Not a good race for him. Definitely not one that's going in the memory book for him. But we'll keep on going as the gaps have suddenly opened really big. Now 1.2 tenths for man in the box, when it seemed like he was just behind someone. Actually, I was wrong, as we have Rigraff, I believe, who has had maybe a bit of a moment, or we just had lots of positions change. We got this little train of cars from like P8 to P11 who are just kind of going at it, you know, having their own little battle here for the last couple of points positions, or I should say top 10 positions, as we keep on battling on. But yes, the gaps have opened up a little bit, as I was saying. No DRS for P4, 5, 6, even P3 and P8 don't have DRS here.
Yeah, the trains are starting to get a little bit smaller as this race continues. The hard tire is slowly becoming king, and Logan with a time penalty already.
Yeah, and a massive moment right after, and now he's got the Haas of Sachi Marmon right behind him. These Haas's are putting themselves in great positions here. It's just whether they can get the moves done without getting killed by Ferrari.
It's going to be Logan potentially causing something horrendous, but we'll see. I hope not. I have another spinning car, Red Panda, at the penultimate corner. But I don't think that's too much of a problem now.
Into the pits. Sorry.
And now it's Florida spinning around. As Combine almost goes for a move on Slick Goku, but the RB is going to have the inside for turn 3, and turn 4 is the last spot on the Hungarian where you will want to pass a car, so there's that.
Yeah, I did try it in the early stages of last night's race, but no, it ended up just sending Maxime wide, so that happens. You know, you do have a little bit of a think about it, and you know, you have a good drive up the hill, but there's just no braking zone for you to really be able to take advantage of any late braking situations. But we got to think about Spanini now, because he's brought himself a little bit closer. He's recharged the battery, and he might be in real contention for the win here.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen, potentially, but it all depends on when Peter Giordano pits, because that pit window opens at the start of this lap. Watch out for these marathon stints on the hard tire.
Indeed, and the DRS kind of helping Spanini charge his battery a bit. He's got about 30% more than Peter Giordano does right now as they go through this first sector here. And it's just about whether Spanini can keep it through these corners. And, you know, Sector 2, he's got to really stay behind the Ferrari if he wants a big chance going up into Turn 1. But the only other thing is, will that undercut happen? We know it's powerful. We know it's super powerful. So the first one to blink on the pit stops. You know, even Nadewell might have a chance of undercutting the top two, but it will take some good strategy and good pace from him. He's already gaining a little bit on the top two, so we'll see how open this fight for the win is tonight.
Yeah, I don't think it's really a Nadewell fight, but if he can bring himself into there with some great pace on the hards, then it might happen. Heading into the final sector of lap 10, we'll see who dives it into the pit lane. Peter Giordano or Spanini, neither of them are in. Nadewell, as you said, is the first one in the pits. As he drifts his way in.
Yeah, funny from him, but he's going to be making it, you know, within the speed limit of the pit lane. That would be one of the only things that would really mess him up here. No penalties for him. I don't even think last race he had any penalties. I could be wrong about that, though. As we go on here, we will see a very... Oh, okay, I thought it was a long pit stop for the Williams driver, but he's down into P10. He's got some fresh air. That is crucial for his race. He'll just be able to put in these very consistent laps, as we talked about. The hard tires, very consistent and very, honestly, fairly quick too. Only a few tenths per lap slower than very fresh mediums, but he will have the pace advantage until the top two pit here.
Joel Guron with the time penalty, and his race hasn't been going well. That'll only make it worse.
Yeah, he's never really had too much going for him in this race beyond P4. And now he's got Logan right behind him, who's got these good hard tires. You know, it's still Logan. We just saw him have a moment right behind the McLaren, but he will be going for as long as he can. I think, honestly, whoa, as he does hit Joel Grun. As, you know, we did talk about it a lot. He rejoins unsafely right in front of Combined YouTuber, who I'm sure is having an Australian word with his engineer right now, as we have two cars coming into the pits, Satsi Marmot and Joel Guron coming to the pits. So Logan is finally not behind someone else, finally not a danger, as Peter Giordano and Spanini have also come into the pits. And look at this, Spanini is in front of the Ferrari in the pits. I don't know if I missed something. Yeah, I don't know if they made that on track or if it was just in the pits, but what has happened? There's a Williams. Okay, that's not the Williams we have to focus on. Nadewell is now, he's kind of undercut them. He's not made up any positions, but he's got himself into DRS. That is going to be crucial for Nadewell. That's really brought him back into this fight here.
Yeah, that's a crucial one for Nade. It's brought himself in the fight, and even better, he has a chance because the top three are all on hard tires, and he can now attack on tires that are warm and ready to pounce, because Peter and Spanini are going to get held up behind J Street for the entire second half of the lap, and that'll just cost them big.
I can kind of sense that Spanini is a bit impatient here. I know he might make a move if the exit is good out of this next corner here. But yes, like you said, as fast as you can clear this stake F1 car, you will be in a good position. Spanini really revving his car out, but yeah, like you said, these cold tires, as they slowly warm up, we saw Spanini have a moment in the first sector, so that just kind of explains the tire advantage. Nadewell bringing himself a little bit closer. Our top three stay out, but we continue on racing in this little train. Let's take a look at Spanini and Peter Giordano. Do they both make the move, or will it be one car only who makes a move? It doesn't look like Peter's going to be able to make this move without a big send, unless he can make it happen in a turn 2 here, and it does look like he might be able to, but no, he doesn't get the drive. So he's going to be held up behind this green F1 car, which is honestly horrible to look at, except he's got the inside line here, and now the outside line. He's going to send it around the outside of turn 3. What a great move from him. As he's going to
send it down the inside. He's gone up the inside.
As they make contact. Go on.
Lots of contact. Now watch out for Nade diving into the chicane. And he's backed out of that happily. Ooh, Peter Giordano nearly spins around.
Yeah, thankfully keeps it. J Street really giving these hard runners a hard time, and that's really made it easy for Spanini to kind of break away. Of course, Peter had that moment, which really cost him, but now Nadewell does have the DRS on him. This race is starting to swing away from Peter Giordano's advantage here.
Yeah, it's starting to slip away. Another great qualifying, but the race pace just hasn't been there, as if another yellow flag for
Florida.
Florida, yeah, letting everyone go.
Might as well just pull over the car at that point if you're going so slow. But
Yeah.
here we go. I did not mean that in terms of race pace, but he was going about 14 kilometers an hour on the side of the road. So just to clarify, we go on with the other Williams chasing after the Ferrari. No drive or no move made into turn 1. We still gotta focus on some things though. We still have 3 cars who haven't pit. Those are all our hard runners. But still, the positions have moved up and around a lot. Joel Guron finds himself in 9th behind man in the box, who was behind him before the pit stops, I believe. So that undercut kind of worked out for him.
Yeah, I just think that. But let's see, the undercut is pretty massive, and Spanini is making mistakes of his own now as we head into lap 14. And now, officially, Peter Giordano back in Spanini's DRS. And this is when this Hungarian Grand Prix could get very exciting.
Yes, and the Williams of Nadewell still not out of it yet, using all of his battery just to ensure that he gets the DRS, but he's kind of messed it up. Does he get the DRS? He's 8/10 now. For a minute, he was in the 1 second gap, so he needs to be careful about how he manages himself here. He's got 1 lap older tires than the cars ahead. Soon enough, we'll see the hard tire runners going into the pits, but right now, it's a 3-man fight for the win. This man in the box gets past J Street.
Yeah, down the inside. And now, and we now have a situation where everyone on the hard is going to get overtaken anyways. The top 2 are going to fall so far down the order, and they have to be in the position they're currently in. Because the medium doesn't make the rest of the race.
Yeah, 20 laps is not going to get the mediums anywhere. I mean, maybe if you just had the right hand degradation, you might be able to make it, but the left side degradation on these medium tires is just so much, as Peter Giordano kind of reels in Spanini and drops Nadewell. Nadewell no longer in the DRS, so I think we have a proper fight for the lead here, as we have a yellow flag in the exit of turn 1 for Fun Chicken Ninja. But we go on. Let's take a look at what we got going on down the straight here. They're exiting the final corner, our 2 net leaders. Will there be action at the first action point, or will we have to wait a little bit longer? He's got the battery all the way dumped. He's got the DRS. He's set the fastest lap. He's going to be taking the net lead of this race. Down the inside goes Peter Giordano. Will it be a switchback from Spanini? He'll try, but they make contact in the process of that move. They don't lose too much time from it, but Peter Giordano, with the 1 detection point, with the DRS open on the second straight, secures his leading position here. As there's a yellow flag for the Ferrari right in front of him. That's Logan PSQ, and that is not a lapped car. That is 4th position. So those hard tires really didn't do him well there.
Yeah, it's a spin for Logan. I said it, if he didn't clean his things together, he would have a tough season, and he's having one as we speak.
Indeed, as we got a couple of things going on here. Good race so far from man in the box in the Haas. We didn't, like you said, we didn't expect him to be fighting for top 5 now, but he's net P4. So good from him on the Haas. He's really reeling in the Ferrari. He'll even get some DRS from good measure, I'm sure, by the end of this lap. But meanwhile, at the front of the field, or the net front of the field, I should say, Spanini has dropped out of DRS. He's just barely gotten it, and Nadewell finds himself back into DRS. So it's just barely a 3-horse race so far, but
yeah,
Peter's definitely the fastest driver.
Yeah, Peter is the fastest driver, but he made a mistake in the early laps and lost the lead, but he has recovered beautifully, and he's now back in the lead.
No.
Oh, man in the box is gone.
No, he's kept it running, but I think it might have been a little bit of contact or just a loss of traction for man in the box. He's going to keep his net P4 position, but that didn't help him whatsoever. Go on.
Let's see this battle here for net 8th. Combined Slick Goku and Joel Guron heading into turn 4. It is the status quo as we speak, but Slick Goku sent it up Joel's inside, and Joel Guron really struggling today. He doesn't have much pace, and this is, I think, a race that he just can't afford to be having on the minute if he wants to fight for a title.
And you can kind of just see where it's happening. He's just not taking the ideal line through a couple of these corners. He's going deep. He's missing his braking points. It's really not going well for Joel Garan, and he's got that time penalty on top of it where he stands. Let me check the penalty real quick. To lose only 2 positions, but if Rigraf can get himself back into it, then he could lose a lot more than just that.
Indeed he can. It's going to be a long one for Joel, and we're only halfway through this race, which is absolutely insane. It's taking so long. Safety car.
Goodness. Fun Chicken Ninja into the wall on the exit of turn 3, and he's lost his front wing. He's still in this race. But yeah, we have a full safety car. The full safety car is going to pull over, so our leaders will still be in for it. This really does help our hard tire runners. This really helps Tronk, I have to say. He's going to be, I have to say, maybe help me out here, probably P7 instead of how far back we thought he was going to drop originally. This is going to be big for him.
It's going to be a huge one, but he's only going to lose time to Peter Giordano. He's only going to lose time. And it gives some people who are struggling with fuel a potential chance to, you know, get their race back in order and save some fuel.
Yeah, and we can just see that some cars are going to be ready to come into the pits here. Let's take a look at the Mercedes of Tronk, as surely now he takes his Mercedes into the pits. He's going really slowly, I have to say. I don't think the bug happens here, or whether it is a bug or not, but back in Canada, if you go into the pits under your delta, then that is going to be no bueno for you. That's a drive penalty for you. But Spanini, and wait, hold on. Is Spanini into the pits? Yeah, he is into the pits. What is going on? Spanini, is he going for... Does he have another set of medium tires, I have to wonder. He's double stacking with his teammate. That is no bueno for the lead of the race. And he's getting held up by his teammate. So it is going to be medium tires for Spanini. That is, I have to say, a strategical blunder from Alpine.
It's a strategic bottle job and a half. He's ended up so far down the order. And with a medium tire being the way it is, he's dropped from the net lead to fighting J Street and Logan PSQ for proper position.
That is exactly what I was going to say. He's got J Street and Logan in front of him now. That is... It's race over. It has to be for Spanini. Sati Marmot, I guess, went on to the medium tires as well. I thought for sure he'd be up there. But the order has definitely changed now. Our leaders stay out, and Chonk is P3 on new medium tires. There might be a shout for Chonk here. He's going to be having a lot of good pace advantage for the first few laps, and if he can make up those positions, if he can kind of gap them, he might have a chance for the win here tonight.
It's going to be a sad... It could be a potential sad one for Spanini, given if he can fight for a title, this could be a race that ruins it all for him. And we're only 2 races into the season.
Yes,
we're already seeing big things in these opening races.
Yeah, it could just be those ones that you look back and say, if I didn't do this, I could have gotten this, and I think that might be exactly what we see for Spanini. Was fighting for the win, and now he's down on P12 on merit with all the other drivers in front of him on decent tires. So he's going to have a huge amount of work if he even wants to kind of save his race here. So we'll see what the Alpine driver does. We still have 2 drivers to catch up to the safety car. This definitely does help out Florida a lot, because actually wait, no it doesn't at all, because he's still a lap down behind the safety car. That is...
He's on... Yeah. His race is over, I think, pretty much. But it's been over since the early laps.
Yeah, pretty much. I guess for Luke it does bring him back into this because he is not lapped. But he does even have a lap car in front of him. So, yeah, let's just talk about how mixed up this order is now. The 2 Aston Martins have been brought up to P8 and 9 respectively. Well, I guess not respectively, but then P7 for combined. You know, I guess you could say he's still kind of our championship contender if you were to look at it on paper. You know, he's fast in Belgium, we know that for a fact. But P7 right now, it's not the worst place for him to be.
Yeah, it could be a day where, you know, he can achieve something in a race like this if there's another safety car maybe.
And these mediums will be a bit more manageable than they would have been in the first 15 laps of the race. So the advantage or the degradation won't be as horrible. It'll still be not too fun, but the medium tires, they might have a shout for making up positions here. We definitely have a little bit more spice added into this Hungarian Grand Prix, Magnussen.
Yeah, we have quite the ending. Safety car, and at the end of this lap, we will have 16 long laps of the Hungaroring for the winner of this Grand Prix to be determined. It was our option in Division 1. Can Ferrari pull it off and win in Division 2 as well? I think Marcel Paps, the Ferrari team principal, is probably over the moon if he sees a Ferrari winning. Slick Goku has spun it behind a safety car. Unbelievable. He spun behind a safety car.
Yeah, and let's go back to the race start as here we go. Peter Giordano does get a decent start. 4/10 as we saw, yeah, Slick Goku spinning around on the safety car. He was P8 or P6 even, and he was doing well. So now he's dropped back. Logan PSQ making up moves on his medium tires. There's already a big gap where I imagined that RB was. But Hokage Roldi is still getting fought by J Street. J Street is going to go around the outside in turn 2. Wow, they nearly make contact as J Street brakes quite late and makes it around the outside of Hokage. And we're still going on with Nadewell here. Look how close they're getting. The gap was 2/10 just a minute ago. And we might still have some action here. The Mercedes of Chonk, like we said, with the medium tires, could take both of these cars and he could try and gap them as we have Slick Goku around again. He saw a very promising position slip out of his hands, and now he's watching the whole race slip out of his hands.
He's been watching the whole Grand Prix slip out of his hands for the last minute and a bit. A bit of an embarrassing spin under the safety car, and then there's nothing you can do anymore if you spin like that. And everyone's bunched up. The penalty just so much steeper in a race like this as Spanini is up the inside of Hokage Roldi, and he's another driver who has absolutely blown the strategy, pitting on the worst lap he could have possibly pitted. And now, at the end of lap 22, DRS enabled. We have 14 laps of racing here in Hungary as Logan PSQ is going to go down the inside of Rigraf into the first corner. Is Logan going to make it? He does. It's a good drive, but Rigraf is right there, and he had a look up the inside for turn 2. He doesn't do it.
Yes, it's Slick Goku gets a penalty to throw all of his hopes and dreams away for this race. It all kind of started at the end of the safety car, but we keep on moving. Joel is putting some decent pressure on men in the box. I guess Joel's race isn't completely over, but with that penalty and this safety car, he's going to drop a handful of positions down here.
Let's see, with the penalties adapted, he would be in around 10th place at the minute as we speak, and Logan would be, he would be in 9th, he would be in 10th. So it wouldn't be great. Florida, or that's Florida, yeah, spinning around a lot.
Just trying to see, yes, he did lose his front wing end plate in that wreck there, but now we look at Nadewell, who's got the battery on, he's got the DRS open, but he's not fast enough in this straight line. Chonk is really trying to make his medium tires work in this little window of advantage that he has, but can he do it? Logan PSQ, oh, he's hit Joel again! This time, much harsher consequences for Joel, and I guess Logan might have damage too, but that was, I don't know, if you thought the first contact under the braking zone was rough, that one was like a big old slap to the face there for Joel. And, you know, I was saying that the race wasn't over as Logan completely cuts turn 4, and he's really not having a good time now, neither Logan or Joel.
As a penalty, and I said it in the qualifying chat, he'll have a tough season, and he's having one right now. New season, same shit with Logan. He got banned at the end of season 9 or 10. He's come back to season, and he is exactly the same driver as I remember, causing a lot of incidents.
Yeah, I mean,
we need a discussion on him.
Yeah, I saw him make a move, and I was like, okay, he made one move, he's going to be fine. But I should have known better. He absolutely plowed into the back of Joel Garan. And meanwhile, we completely missed Chonk making it past Nadewell and now into the DRS of Peter Giordano. So medium tires still going to work for him for a couple more laps before they drop away. So that gap is going down very quickly, but what can Chonk do with it? Can he make the overtake? Can he make a gap? Let's see.
I think it's doubtful because we don't have...
Spanini.
Spanini.
Oh boy, go on.
Yeah, bit of an incident, but Chonk up in second place. A great drive from him. And we have another. Florida. It's Florida doing the reset to track. He's all okay. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one with Chonk because he's on medium tires, but the medium tires starting to drop now. Tire here, absolutely brutal on the left front with so many fast right-handers, so I think now Chonk has to look after that left front tire to keep it a little bit alive, and the rear left as well to try and manage it. Try and manage the temperatures on that tire because it will be very badly boiled.
Yeah, and of course I've got a little bit of bias being a Haas driver, but look who's brought himself into the fight. I have to say, Man in the Box has shown some decent pace over these last few laps to get himself into DRS, and while a podium is, I have to say, kind of far out of reach unless Chonk really does mess up his tires like we've been talking about, this could be huge for him as Chonk is getting super close to the Ferrari, and he gets a great exit out of turn 1. Can he make it happen going down into turn 2? Let's see. Do we see a send from Chonk? No, we don't, but he's going to take a wide line, try and cut back on the exit, and try and get a run down into turn 4. We know it can happen. We've seen it almost happen from Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso all the way back in 2021. We've seen it happen. But as we have another yellow flag, is that Spanini? No. Is it Fun Chicken Ninja? Yes. There's still moves to be made in our top 5 here. Top 4, I should say.
Yeah, a lot. We've still got 11 laps of racing, so it'll be a long one. But the Hungaroring usually tends to throw up good racing in situations like this. It's a bit hard to pass, yes, but today's race has not been as boring as some will call the Hungaroring. It's been fairly exciting. Lots of action, lots of overtaking, and your usual Logan terrorism.
I'd say that was half of our excitement here tonight. But I think we have a bit more coming because the Mercedes is a tiny bit closer to the Ferrari than we saw last lap, and he's got more battery too. He's got a lot more battery. He's going down the straight with DRS and the battery wide open. Can he make a move into turn 1? He's got the run going. Does he dive bomb? No, he doesn't. But he takes a wide line, tries to get a good switchback, or at least for the exit, and now into turn. Oh no, he spun it. He's lost parts of his front wing. Oh no, Chonk. He had it, and he threw it away effectively, and now he sees his teammate now pass him, and he's got a broken front wing too. Both front wing end plates are gone, and his hopes of winning this race are gone as well.
The Chonk Lent sanity run, as they will call it in basketball, is completely over. Bit of a shame, but he stepped on the DRS a bit too early, didn't expect the loss of rear downforce to be that much, and that's that. He just binned it.
As Logan completely goes off the track. Yes.
Had nowhere to go.
Yeah, what happened there? I mean, look at this. Chonk is just going so much slower. He thinks his medium tires are fast enough to keep him ahead, but they are just not. He's super slow. We have a virtual safety car, and that is for this Alpine right here, who's binned it on the main straight. I have to say, this has to be some sort of race fixing, if I were to put it anyway.
It's a full safety
car. Oh my goodness. Oh
full
my
safety
goodness.
car.
What has he done here? There is no way you can possibly just lose it on the main straight. Call it Crashgate, call it whatever you want. As we have
Hungarian Crashgate.
Yeah, Nadewell and Man in the Box into the pits. My goodness, we have more spice added to this Hungarian Grand Prix. I'm certainly on the edge of my seat now.
This is going to be an interesting one. A full safety car out on the track. I don't know what keeps saying virtual safety car for me, but it's a full one. Wow. 9 laps to go here at the Hungaroring, and we could have, I think, some of the best racing in the league. Right now, as we speak,
oh my,
J Street is in second place.
Oh my goodness. I don't honestly think he has the pace to take on Peter Giordano, especially with his tires. But even just saying J Street is in second place, I take back my previous statement about J Street. You know, maybe he does have some good racecraft here. And
you don't get from P11 to, you don't get from facing the wrong way in the early laps to P2 with 10 to go without some good strategy, and that's what's happened. gives Slick Goku a great chance to come back into this race now. He has a shot at potentially a point finish even.
Yeah, and you know, some crazy moves have happened. We actually had so many people come into the pits. I think it was 10 drivers who came into the pits. Nadewell being one of them. They're all on new mediums and softs for only Luke, as Fun Chicken Ninja finally retires from the session. I think it was about time, I have to say, as Florida is lapped behind the safety car again, as Fun Chicken Ninja leaves the session. I guess...
Yeah.
I hope this will be the last we see of him, because I don't really want to have things like that happen. But let's go back to the strategy here. So, 0 laps on medium tires for Nadewell, Man in the Box, Tronk, Joel Guron, Logan PSQ, oh boy, and Hokage Roldy, and softs for Red Panda Pigeon Slayer. I mean, we got probably 6 laps to go at the end of this safety car. So, I don't know. Do you think the softs can make it? Because I surely don't.
Absolutely not. The rear left will overheat.
Well, Magnuson, for the probably 5th time I've said this now, we have got spice.
It's gone from a hot pepper to the hottest pepper in the world. This Hungarian Grand Prix will be heating up in the next few laps. Wherever you're joining us from, this is the time to watch it. If the safety car comes in at the end of this lap, we will have 7 laps of gripping racing. It might be a small circuit with overtaking being difficult, but that has not stopped the Hungarian Grand Prix and today's Division 2 race from being an absolute cracker. Let's see. Peter Giordano, J Street, Combined YouTuber, Rigraph, and Sudsy Marmon are your top 5. Absolute carnage could happen here in Budapest as we speak.
I'm just trying to think of all the flashpoints we could have here, because we got new medium tires. Can they make it up in these last laps? And then we even got just normal medium tires against old hard tires. Like, who will be making the position changes here? As safety car is in this lap, we have so much action that we'll have to cover here. I'm so ready to see. It's gonna be a long one. I'm so ready to see Logan fly into someone else. But we go on board with J Street for our safety car restart. Can he get the jump on Peter Giordano? Let's see.
Let's see. We are on the off-board view. Peter Giordano will lead us away once again as a safety car pulls into the pit lane for its 2nd trip of the day. It's lights out, and Peter Giordano has absolutely dropped the gun. He is already 7 tenths in the lead. J Street's in 2nd. Combined YouTuber doing a bit of weird weaving down at the back there. The order mostly remains the same, but look out for Nade down the inside of Sudsy Marmon, already into the first corner. And Sudsy Marmon runs all the way to the Czech Republic on the exit of turn 1, and that is not a difficult overtaking move.
Whoa, 10 seconds. Let's start going.
10 seconds for Spanini. That's a big one. That's race over.
Yeah, and I think the Haas's are going to switch positions now. Yes, they do. And even without the pace advantage that we saw there, he is still flying, Man in the Box. He is catching the top 5 like it's... I don't even know an analogy. He's catching them quickly as we see the Aston Martin of Rigraph going deep. And now Nadewell might try and challenge around the outside. Yes, he does. What a move from the Williams driver. What a move from him. As now we see Man in the Box going to overtake him next. It's going to be an easier move, but still a good one. For some reason, I still have the safety car graphic on my screen, but we keep on going. Peter Giordano has gapped J Street, but he's nearly in the DRS gap still.
Peter Giordano already is 2nd up in front. And this is going to be a long one for Combined and J Street. They're going to be the ones getting the biggest attacks.
Well, I don't even know if that's true, because we have Logan PSQ and Joel still fighting. Joel made a lovely move down the inside of the final corner, and he defends his position. Meanwhile, Spanini and Chong kind of going at it as we continue on. It doesn't look like any moves are going to happen yet. Nadewell makes it past Combined YouTuber. That's another crucial move for him. He's charging on with these medium tires. He's got J Street in front of him. I bet he has the confidence, and he knows that he can make up that position.
Chonk has spun! Chonk has spun!
Chonk has spun. How did that happen?
He got pushed on the curb by, I think, Sudsy Marmot.
no bueno for him, as his race, it's been a roller coaster absolutely for the Mercedes driver. And, Sati Marmot, the potential criminal there, is going on. And now Nadewell, he might even have a move here in the final sector, and he does, but actually, no, he doesn't. But Man in the Box does. He's up into P4. He's going to be chasing after this top 2 with all he has.
Let's see. Nadewell versus J Street, and it's going to be an unfortunate one for Mr. J Street because he is going to lose P2. Oh, Nate has left the section.
Wow, that is crucial to this race.
That's a kick in the teeth.
That is absolutely kicking the teeth, face on the curb and everything. It's just, that is a completely big flashpoint for now, and the AI must be turned up quite a bit because it is difficult for a Man in the Box to clear this AI car. Finally does now, but now he's got J Street. He's in the same position Nadewell was a lap ago, and let's just hope that the Williams driver comes back on track here. I mean, he's certainly got warm tires now. I've heard there's a bug with pausing on the track, but he's definitely lost all of his advantage now.
It's illegal for a reason, as J Street goes on the curb. Let's see now with combined, can he somehow sneak the most random of podium finishes here in Hungary? It is Budapest has provided him with the chance of his life as we speak. He had a terrible qualifying, but he can get back on the podium. And let's see where that'll place him. But Nadewell's AI is doing a great job of holding up.
Yeah, he's got some genuine pace. I'd like to say Nadewell would be doing the same right now, as we have so many position changes going on in the back. Is that Sati Marmot going pretty much, I don't know, he must have had a huge moment because he just lost 5 positions. Charge down on Peter Giordano. I think he could do it here. He's got DRS to help him out just a little bit at the start of this lap, as meanwhile Logan PSQ has his normal shenanigans. I don't even know what's going on anymore, but he's down the inside of Hokage going down into turn 2. Luckily doesn't dive bomb another driver in the process, but we keep going as Sati Marmot loses another position. It looked like Sagoku is trying to make it. Oh! Peter Giordano's gotten a penalty. That is huge. Nadewell might still be on for a podium, and he won't even know it until we call him in for the interviews, but that's huge. It's going to be the same fate for Peter Giordano that we saw last time out. There is no way that he keeps this win unless he starts putting some Ayrton Senna-esque laps around here, and that doesn't even make sense because I don't think Ayrton ever raced the Hungarian Spanini's himself, I guess. He spins. He's out of contention. He's got a broken front wing, 2 front wing end plates. That's been kind of the normal trend here. Some action we're having here, Magnussen.
Lots of action, but
is that someone into the pits? Nadewell's into the pits.
Nadewell!
Oh.
Could it be the day, a combined podium out of complete nowhere?
It could be. I know. We've said that for so many drivers. He's back, and he's going to have to see himself going down the pit lane. He's got to be so frustrated right now. Man in the Box still may take this win on track. He's got some genuine pace on the Ferrari driver now. He's got it all to play for here.
IP Nate, but combined YouTuber of all people and J Street, absolutely from the depth of hell, effectively, they've gone and they're fighting for a podium. And Man in the Box, shout outs to him because he is driving one of the best races I've seen from him, or possibly his best race in ZRL. He is actually going to be on to win this Hungarian Grand Prix as things stand.
Yeah, I'm doing my best to keep my mouth shut as Rigraff gets another penalty. I'm doing my best to keep my mouth shut to not give him the commentator's curse, but I think we could be truly seeing something special today. As we go on, we've got just, I think it's 2 more laps after we cross the line here. We are going to be so ready for some action here.
Yeah, it's going to be time. 3 laps to go. It's combined versus J Street versus Joel Guron for the final spot on the podium.
And here we go for the first stop of the podium. Man in the Box takes the lead of the Hungarian Grand Prix on his medium tires. He's going to have this one cemented down here. He's going to have the win here as J Street and Combined YouTuber going for it into turn 1. Combined YouTuber still has the inside line going into the next corner. Can he get a dive into turn 2? He does.
He's going to do it.
What a move from Combined if he can keep it on track. And he does. I don't know why I said keep it on track, but the Alfa Romeo comes back. The kick comes back, and now Joel Guron, out of all people, is coming back for his podium position potentially. J Street sees him, Papaya McLaren around the outside of turn 5 now. It's not going to happen. But what a move that could have been from Joel Grun. He's brought himself back out of nowhere, and he still might finish in the top 5.
I don't think he's going to finish in the top 5 because remember, he has a penalty.
Right. Go on.
Let's see here. Joel Grun. Oh, nearly down the inside of turn 11. That's not a place you want to pass. Let's say in a 12. Could be the overtaking maneuver of the year here. That's not going to happen, is it?
Yeah, and wait a minute. Peter Giordano is still going to finish on the podium. J Street and combined, I mean not J Street, but combined has completely missed out with all this battling. That is unfortunate from combined, who really needs to give himself a good position here. He's P5 right now as Logan PSQ has spun. He's kept it on track, but he's had a big moment.
Combine down the inside. He's gonna go for it, and he's spun, I think.
No, he stayed. Go on.
He survived, but he's, I think, off the podium at this rate. That's RIP podium for combined YouTuber.
And we keep going on. Mercedes switch positions here, and it looks like it's going to be all wrapped up for Man in the Box and Peter Giordano. They have run away with it. They're going through the second sector now. They have put themselves on the first and second places on the podium on merit. So it's been great for Man in the Box. It's been great for Peter Giordano. Joel Guran, I mean, I don't think he's going to keep his podium position. It'd be so unlikely at this point. Chonk might even fancy a move on J Street in the meantime to get himself a podium position. This could be huge. He has one more decent opportunity to make it happen, and he's kept the run going. He's going to go defensive, the stakes Albert around here, around the outside, but it's going to be a switchback from the Mercedes driver. Chonk is going to find himself on the podium step, the third step of the podium. He's going to make it. Meanwhile, Man in the Box out of the final corner to make it a first win for Haas, for himself. And then Peter Giordano comes second. Joel Grun has nearly lost it. He has lost it.
He has lost it.
Oh my goodness, he's going to have to reverse across the line. Oh no. And the other Haas. Oh, as we have Logan spin around too. What has happened out of the final corner? I can't even keep up with our order. Luke is going to find himself going through a sea of spun around cars. But wow, what a finish. What a race, Magnussen.
Well, that was one of the craziest last few laps I remember.
No words. No words.
Man in the Box, your winner of the Hungarian Grand Prix in Division 2. Peter Giordano came close to that win, only 3/10 away. Chonk recovering greatly from his spin into the wall. We thought the race was over for him, but he has done a very good sacrifice in a sense, and he has recovered to go on the bottom step of the podium. J Street, a very strong drive for him in P4. Combined YouTuber, another strong performer in the race, going up multiple places to finish 5th. And now both Aston Martins, Rigraf ahead of Hikage Roldi, and Goku in 8th. And that will end your Hungarian Grand Prix tonight.
Well, I mean, some action we had. You know, there's been good drivers too. J Street driver of the day. I mean, I have to say it'd be Man in the Box for me, but J Street has done everything he has to give himself that driver of the day, as I unfortunately skipped the podium celebrations. But here we go. I mean, we've had some few drivers that have been kind of just lying low, and those are the two Aston Martins here, Rigraf and Hokage P6 and 7, but they are behind. First, Man in the Box, then Peter Giordano, then it's Chonk. J Street, somehow, out of all people, combined YouTuber doing okay, then the two Aston Martins, like I said. Slick Goku, who has also recovered from his spin. That was a very late spin for him too. He's recovered very well. Then Sutty Marbit in P9. Joel Guran. I'm just going to leave it there. Joel Guran, P10. Logan PSQ, P11. P12 goes to Nadewell. Red Panda Pigeon Slayer goes P13. Spanini P14. We thought he would win at some point, but it wasn't this point. Then Florida P15 and Fun Chicken Ninja, the instigator of all chaos today, goes P16.
And that's it. Your Hungarian Grand Prix is over, but we'll now have time for our interviews before we wrap up this broadcast and see you next week. Until then, watch the interviews, but if you don't, goodbye, and see you in 7 days' time for the Belgian Grand Prix.
Man, I am so excited for this interview here. What a move. What a race for all of our drivers. It was Chonk somehow on the podium. I have to type out his name. I just can't believe it. And then P2 was I cannot remember it.
Peter Giordano.
Peter Giordano, of course it was. Thank you. And I'm sure they're already here. Oh well, no, I guess they're not here in the waiting room. But Man in the Box is first in. I'm not gonna let him in because we gotta get Chonk in here first. I mean, I've got lots of questions for Chonk because it was absolutely up and down the road for him today. You know, he was kind of in the midfield for the first part of it, then he got up, and then he dropped down. It was all happening. So let's bring him in. P3 for Mercedes is going to be Chonk. Welcome to the interview booth. Talk us through it. It was a roller coaster.
I'm not happy with that at all, to be honest.
And what part of it were you not happy with in particular? Yeah, fair enough. It was
Mainly, at least. I don't know if I would have won that, but it had a good chance.
Yeah, I mean, P3, still after a roller coaster, I'd say that's decent. But in the future, what have you got for us? You think you're going to be making some wins here, or what we got?
I'm gonna look ahead. I don't really want to look at this race too much right now.
Completely fair. Magnuson, any questions?
A bit of a disappointment after your spin, but Chonk, I think you should be happy with the recovery because you were in the wall with your end plate with your entire front wing gone. So at least there's that to take note. But what do you think caused the spin, if anything? Just pushing too hard, or?
So I was coming off the corner. I think it was the middle of the straight, or at least a third of it down. I was out of the traction zone. I shifted up into fourth, and I took one hand off the left side of the wheel to switch it into overtake, and it just went.
Bam.
Yeah. Unfortunate, but I expect, well, great things from you in Belgium. You know, you've got some pace, so, you know, take what you will from this race, but next race, you've got it all to play for. Have a good night, man.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. To put it lightly, another somewhat disappointing race from Peter Giordano for the exact same reason. So here he is, P2. Oh, I'm sorry for interrupting your conversation. But P2 for you, one could say it was because another penalty incident. But what do you have to say about it all?
I don't think I lost because of the penalty. I mean, he passed me fair and square, so I don't think it wasn't really the penalty. I mean, also the penalty is kind of annoying because I had a snap of oversteer and went off and got that third warning. I mean, I don't know if we count those or if I can get that removed, but a little annoying. I just wish I pit. I wish I pit during that second safety car. I feel like I had the pace to win. I felt like I was controlling the race pretty well, and then what's his name? Man in the Box made the right call. So congrats to him.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, around a single lap, I'd say you're definitely the fastest driver here, but there are a few things during the race that just don't go your way. So hopefully in these next couple of races you can, it all goes your way and we can get some stuff done. But until then, you have a great night, man.
Yeah, thanks. Take care, guys.
Take care.
Have a good day.
All right. And, I did not think I would be saying this whatsoever, but we've got P1, Man in the Box, for Haas. Congratulations, man. First win. Talk us through it.
Oh, so Nathan, yes, first one is Zoom, super stoked. But yeah, I think Master Grade went medium hard, and like halfway through the hard stint, the safety car came out. So like obviously we're super bummed. But yeah, the second safety car came out. I think Giordano he stayed out, and then me and Nadewell went in for the mediums, which turned out to be like the right call. I don't know what happened to Nadewell. He it looked like he like DC'd or something. But yeah, like the fresh mediums, I wasn't sure if they're gonna be good for. I think it was like 9-10 laps to go. I wasn't sure if they're gonna make it because the mediums kind of suck on this. But yeah, we were flying through the field. I think we came out in P8, and then yeah, just turned out to be the right strategy call.
Yeah, congrats. And then Magnuson, any questions?
No, just no questions. Great job. That's it.
Thanks,
Great
Madison
job.
Cube.
Strategy.
All right.
Yeah, well,
Appreciate it, fellas.
yep. You take care.
All right. Talk to you later.
Have a great day.
And he's left. Alright, ladies and gents, that has been your Division 2 Hungarian Grand Prix. It was certainly one to remember. I could say even the race of the season right now for Division 2, unless we get some more shenanigans, some more incidents. I think that kind of fuels most of our excitement here in Division 2. But we'll have to see. Until then, we got Belgium next week. Don't forget to subscribe so you can stick around for that, and that pops up on your YouTube For You page when it happens. But until then, y'all have a great night.
And enjoy my final bit of commentary next week for the Belgian Grand Prix, because unfortunately, that will be my last race in Zoom Racing League. Until then, enjoy the rest